Hey you guys, what is up? So we're gonna go over oh, here comes Fiona. Come here. So today we're going through some of my favorite no foundation products, like favorite products for a no foundation routine. This isn't my no foundation routine because honestly I have lots. And that's kind of a good and that's kind of the disclaimer of this video, is that if you're choosing not to wear foundation, it's just like if you were wearing foundation, you know? Like, you find a routine that works best for you and that you really like and that suits your skin type and skin tone and all that jazz. So that's a little disclaimer. Whether you're just deciding to transition into wearing powder foundation, or if you start off your no foundation routine putting putting translucent powder all over your face, it's completely and totally up to you to find what you like in your no foundation routine. So that being said, here are just some individual products that work great in particular for no foundation. So let's just move on to that. And the first thing I want, what do you want, Big Stinky? So the first thing I want to start with is primers. And this is like all of these, it's pretty, you got to figure out what you want. For me, I have, when I first stopped wearing foundation, I had more oily skin. But now I have dry to normal skin. Right now it's dry because we're in the winter time, but in the summer it's like normal. So my main skin concern is my pores. That's pretty much the only thing I'm self-conscious about. I'll typically go in with a pore filling primer. There's loads of pore filling primers on the market, but this is just one that I've been using recently and really liking, to a point where normally I put my primer on and pore filling primer, and then I go in with a translucent powder over top of my pored areas because it just kind of helps further disguise them. And that is the Spackle Mattifying. That is the Spackle Mattifying Oil Control Under Makeup Primer. And I know I just told you that I have dry skin, so why would I use an oil controlling one? This one I find does not feel dry on my skin at all, or make it look dry, or even really absorbs oil so much. I mean, I don't really get oily, but it does disguise my pores so well. And I'll just put this all over my pored areas and not even have to do my whole powder situation, and I feel like I'm good to go. So I really like that one, but I also like to use multiple primers, so I'm not going to put that one all over my face because I don't have super visible and large pores all over my face, so that's not like a main concern. But something I really like, and I think especially if you're doing a no foundation routine, if you have oily skin, it's one thing. You can typically put stuff on your face and your natural oils will kind of like play with the product nicely in a way that it just kind of like makes it like look like your skin, makes it ensure that it's not going to just sit on top of your skin. But if you don't get a little oily throughout the day, then using a luminous primer, any luminous primer or hydrating, or just anything that's going to give you something a little extra on your skin for the makeup to sit onto is going to be great. So this is what I use all over my face, and then I just go on my pored areas. Pore filling one, Becca First Light Priming Filter. It's hard to read it on the bottle, but the only thing that like really peeves me off about this is my nozzle is like kind of messed up. So if I point it like this while I'm squirting it, or even like this, it'll like shoot across the room. Not even shitting you. I've shot this across the room onto a wall before. Maybe not across the room, but like a good 4 feet. So that's the only thing I would say about this, but that doesn't just point it towards your hands. But yeah, that's the one I've been using recently, but I have a couple ones over there, but I just thought I'd use the ones that I've been reaching for the most recently. You can also just go in with a nice moisturizer that kind of like sticks around on your face for a little bit, like long enough for your makeup application. That also kind of just helps, everything soak in. This is something I use every day in my skincare routine and my makeup routine. I use the Wake the Dead Coffee Scrubs Wide Awake Caffeinated Under Eye Cream. That's a mouthful. Under my eyes, obviously sometimes over my eyes if it's the nighttime routine, but when I'm putting on makeup it's normally just under my eyes, and that is because my under eyes have the weirdest tendency of just like the second I put concealer on, they don't even look dry or feel dry, but when I put a concealer on it looks crepey and just intense and quite awful. So I like to put this on. This really helps that and really makes sure my skin on my under eyes isn't going to get really dry and looking cracky or weird throughout the day underneath my concealer. So the next one is it's actually a powder mineral foundation by Meow Cosmetics. This is one of those powders that I would dust over my pores, although I haven't been using this so much recently, but when I first transitioned from using foundation, this is basically what I was using, just to kind of get used to it all. And I would say if you want to transition to a powder foundation, this is absolutely bomb. It's Meow Cosmetics. They have the most intense shade range, and you can even pick the coverage, and it has a pretty this shade range is insane. So if you are looking for a powdered foundation but you haven't found one in your shade, or you're just started looking and or you just want a good recommendation, I would highly recommend this one. I love it so much, especially if you have oily skin and you're transitioning from not wearing foundation, because when your oils kind of get involved with this, it just looks beautiful. So there's that. But the one I've been using recently, which was also my recent favorites, which was like last video, I'm not sure when this one's coming up though, it's the NYX No Filter powder. And basically the only place I put powder on my face today is very, very lightly tapped under my eyes and then a little bit over my cream blush, just so to ensure it wasn't gonna wiggle around or anything. But I love this powder. It looks so great and seamless on your skin. And yeah, I've already spoken about it quite a bit in my favorites video, so let's just move on. A powder brush I really like is the EcoTools Full Powder Brush. This is what it looks like. And I really like this one just because like the density of this is so unique. You can really get a light dusting of powder just as well as if you were going in with your powder foundation and you were going for coverage. You can get pretty heavy with this also. It's so unique. It's so unique in that way because lots of powder brushes are either really flimsy or really dense, but this just has the coolest density and I love it so much. So this is probably my favorite and most used brush ever, but yeah, so that's a good one. Now let's move on to some concealers. So I have 3 here to talk about right now, and the first one was also in my favorites video along with the eye cream because I like to mix them. But this is the Tarte Creaseless Concealer. I think, especially since I have dry skin, I think it's very important for me with my no foundation routine to use a more hydrating, dewy concealer, and this one is exactly that. This one has quite a bit of coverage. I think if you have oily skin, a couple of these recommendations might be a little bit different for you, but again, it's all about personal preference and what your skin type is and what you like in your makeup. So it's got great coverage. It creases like a bitch though, despite the name, but I like it. And it's when you have a no foundation routine and you are still using concealer, it's very important to have your concealer really blend into your skin and match your skin type and match your skin tone, because if you're just going in and spot concealing, it'll be noticeable if your concealer doesn't match you. So that's just a little tip, although it's pretty self-explanatory. But so another concealer, which is the one I'm actually wearing today, it's also cruelty-free. All these things are cruelty-free in case you didn't know. This is the concealer by Undone Beauty. It's called the Conceal to Reveal palette. My shade is in shade 1 Porcelain. The only thing, let me just talk about this real quick. This has a really crappy shade range, as in they don't have lots of shades, although the shades they do have go fair enough to match me. Darkest shade actually goes pretty dark. So while they have pretty pale and pretty deep, like covered, they only have a handful of shades in total. So just wanted to say that real quick. This, at first, it didn't look like it was going to match me from seeing it in the pan, but it totally matches me and it's actually a little bit light. So the thing with this concealer is obviously it's like a cream potted concealer, but it's not dry or heavy or cakey or anything. The top one is more of like a, I think it's described as the top being more of like a glossy, kind of like a highlighting shade. It doesn't have much coverage to it at all. It just kind of looks hydrated and moisturized under your eye. And then the middle has a little more coverage, and then the bottom has the most coverage. So I normally like to mix the top two and put it under my eyes. Sometime in the darkest spot of my eyes, I'll go in and I'll tap a little bit of the highest coverage one right on in there, but I really like mixing the top one because it just prevents my concealer from looking dry and crepey. So love this so much. This concealer looks untraceable on your skin, but I will say I'm not a full coverage girl. That seems like a given because I don't wear foundation, but like I'm wearing it today and you can probably still see my dark circles a little bit like peeking through. I don't typically go to just completely like erase them every single day. I don't care about it that much. If I didn't get that much sleep, you could know that I didn't get that much sleep. It's not a big deal to me. So so I really like this for, I actually have quite a bit of it on today, or I have some more of the more coverage one put on there, but normally I just kind of like swipe my finger in, put it on, you know, I blend it in with my fingers and I'm good to go, and I love it. So this is still very, very buildable, and you can build it up without it looking cakey. So there's that. The only thing is I'm not 100% sure how you would like this if you had more oily skin, because it is a more hydrating concealer. You can set it and it is matte. I set it very, very lightly with a NYX No Filter powder sometimes. Sometimes I don't even set it and it does crease, but I don't put that much on for it to look so bad when it creases. And also, I really don't have that many creases underneath my eyes. I have like maybe 2 on this eye and 3 on this eye. So it really doesn't look like a big deal if my concealer creases on me. So I love that one, and that has been a recent just like die-hard favorite of mine. So yes. And the last concealer is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. I do not like this concealer on its own so much. If I'm gonna go in and wear this concealer, I do have to put an eye cream on underneath, or just make sure that area is very moisturized at first. But when I do that, it's good, you guys. And especially for the price, I think this is awesome. Oh, another thing, this Undone concealer is also only like $6 on Amazon, so love that. But yeah, I think especially for the price, this is a great one. You would like it, especially if you had oily skin, because like I have to add extra moisture to my skin to make sure this is going to be looking good, but your oils might just naturally peek through and make it just look fab. So I don't think I've ever said fab in my life. Now that we're done talking about concealers, I want to talk about something real quick that I like to blend my concealers out with, and more so not the Undone one. The Undone one I just do with my fingers, although maybe I'll try this. Yeah. This is from EcoTools. This is from their holiday brush collection set, but I think they also have this, it's just like a blue color or something like that. And at first when I see these sponges, I'm like, that is absolutely useless. But here's what it looks like. I just find that this EcoTools one is perfect. There's something about the like pore size and just the softness of it. I don't even get it wet, and it's very soft. I like to take this corner and blend out my concealer, specifically the ColourPop concealer, and it looks so good. My eye cream with the ColourPop concealer blended out with this, just, it looks so good. And that's about all I have to say with that. So don't judge a sponge till you've tried it. I'm sorry, little man. Alright, the next little category, I'm not going to be hitting all categories, like obviously, because I'm not eyeshadows and a no foundation favorites, you know. But anyways, let's go on to blush, and I have so many products here, holy cow. Okay, so this is where you kind of start to need to decide what you want in your no foundation routine. Like if you're going to go and put a translucent powder, you can put a translucent powder all over your face or just on the spots where you're going to be putting blush down or whatever, and you're not going to have much problems, and you can basically use whatever blush you want. But like today, I didn't put any powder on except for a very light dusting underneath my eyes and a tiny just whatever was left on the brush over top my blush, just to make sure it's just gonna seal the deal, you know. I didn't do anything underneath. I did a cream blush today. And when you have a no foundation routine, cream products are your best friend, because where they might have absolutely pissed you off when you're trying to blend them on top over your foundation, they just look amazing on bare skin. So the Laura Geller Baked Blush in Honeysuckle, I love this guy. So something I found is that baked blushes just have a tendency to almost never look patchy on your skin, and that's a big concern if you're not going to be wearing foundation, is that your blushes or contours or bronzers are going to look patchy because they're not going to have a really even like spot to blend on top of. But anytime I've used a baked blush or a bronzer, not really had any problems with patchiness whatsoever. So even on off days where I don't like do my routine so great, I've just never found that to be the case with baked things. So there's just a little heads up. The next one are the Nabla powder blushes, and I'm just talking about these powder blushes in particular because I haven't had issues with them getting patchy or weird in any ways with my on top of my bare skin. And this is in the shade Hey Honey. I really like this one. I actually haven't worn it though since my skin got a little more fair into the winter, but I'll probably take this with me when I go down for winter break. Regardless, the Nabla blushes are great for just blending over top of just bare skin. I haven't really found them to get patchy either. So Sparrow Cosmetics, this is in the shade Just Desserts, and same goes for the other powder blushes. I am mentioning it because it doesn't really get patchy on my skin at all with my no foundation routine. My favorite shade is Lonely Hearts Club. That is just an absolute winner, and I love it so much. That's it for some of my favorite powder blushes. Now let's move more into creams. The one I'm wearing today, pretty lightly. I actually went pretty light with my face products. I'm only wearing like blush and highlight, no contour or bronzer or anything. One I'm wearing today is by ColourPop. It's Aphrodisiac. I think that's how you say it. Aphrodisiac. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. This is the shade. I really like it for my pale skin. Like, I really like it for my pale skin. It's not too intense. It's not too orange. It's not too pink. And I've been really going ham with this one lately. I love the ColourPop blushes for my no foundation routine. What I do is I take a stippling brush and then I just really like pack it in there and make sure I get the bristles like pretty evenly coated, and then I put it on my skin. And with a stippling brush, it doesn't get too much on your skin where you first put it on your face and you're like, I have made a mistake. Like, it's about perfect. So I love that one. And the next thing is, this is too warm for me right now, but in the summer I really like this, and I have used and this is a great alternative to like the Fenty Match Stick and Amber and the Anastasia Stick Foundation Contour in Fawn. This is the Jordana Sculpt and Glow Creamy Contour Stick. It's a cool toned fella, although it's a little too warm for me now. It looks about perfect for me now actually, but when you blend it out it looks a little warmer, and this blends so nicely on your skin. I've been using this it's actually probably expired by now, but and there's still so much product left. But yeah, I really like the color, especially for a drugstore. It's kind of hard sometimes to find a more cool toned cream contour. I use that one as like a contour bronzer. So recently though, I haven't been wearing much for contour or bronzer, mostly just a little bit of blush, and that's like it. Now let's go on to highlights. You might be thinking, and it's true, just wear whatever freaking highlight you want to wear. Just like any of these actually. Wear whatever you want to wear and whatever you like. These are just some favorites I found. So anyhow, I only have I have two cream highlighters, and then the rest are non-cream, so I'm just gonna go through those first. The first one is the Catrice Dewy Wet Look Stick. I love this. It does feel a little bit tacky on your skin, but not as bad as the like the Nude Sticks one, but this one is a little tackier on your skin, but it's not too heavy or anything. So basically this is just like a stick highlighter, but it looks really wet on your skin, and it just looks beautiful. And I think hopefully you can see that, but honestly I do not know. When you wear foundation and you use like a cream highlighter like this, it can be really easy for it to just kind of like blend into your foundation and not look so intense or just not quite right. Sometimes, just sometimes. But I found with a no foundation routine and just over top of bare skin, wet looking highlighters look absolutely bomb, and it just makes your skin look so fresh and natural and healthy. And so I really love this one for that. So yeah, and then the one I'm wearing today, which I've been wearing my makeup for a very long time, so I don't know, you guys. Nice. Super Shock Cheek in Flexitarian. I feel like this is just kind of like a cult favorite by now. I probably don't even have to swatch it for you guys. But this is a really pretty guy. He's very blinding, but I find that you can put it on in a way that just makes it blend into your skin so nicely. This pretty much holds true to any of ColourPop's Super Shock Cheek highlighters. They just blend so nicely on the skin, and it's really easy. This is all I wore on my cheeks today, was the ColourPop blush and then the Flexitarian, and it was really easy, just quickly throw it all on, you know. Let's move in to the other highlighters. So should I go to Indie first? I can just stay there. I have one non-Indie highlighter, so I'm just gonna go through that first, and that's the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. This is actually too dark for me, but sometimes in the summer I can really lightly put this on my face and get away with it. Oops, I have Flexitarian right there. Again, I'm pretty sure everyone's heard of this by now. It's a really natural highlight. I think I didn't finish my rant about just wearing whatever you want. These highlighters specifically I have chosen and loved because they blend seamlessly on the skin, and they do not sit on top of the skin whatsoever. They really get in there and just kind of like sit as one on your skin. Something that's kind of overlooked when you don't wear while wearing foundation is that highlighters have something to kind of like sink into and sit on top of. But when you don't wear foundation, highlighters can tend to really like look obvious on your skin. So these are highlighters that specifically do not, and they look amazing on no foundation skin. So the first is the Essence Pure Nude highlighter. Like I said, it's too dark for me, but it just like blends perfectly into the skin and looks seamless. So there's that from the drugstore. Let's get into some indie stuff. First are some by Sparrow Cosmetics. You guys are probably sick of me talking about Sparrow Cosmetics, but I love them, like I say in every video. So the first one is Clumsy, which was in my favorites video. This one is insane. If you want to hear me talk more about it, go watch my favorites video, because I ranted about that for a while. Unlike most highlighters, it smooths over your skin and even like smooths over pores. Like most highlighters kind of accentuate that. There's something crazy about Clumsy from Sparrow Cosmetics that doesn't do that. So love that one. Quite the handful of Sparrow Cosmetic highlighters just look great on top of your skin. So you really can't go wrong there. I also really like Can't Pin Me Down. That one looks bomb. And then here are these guys by Hypnose Cosmetics. This is Sparkle, Shine, and then Heather. Heather is my favorite. It used to be an eyeshadow, and then she made it into a highlighter size pan. If you guys haven't tried Heather by Hypnose Cosmetics as a highlighter, what are you doing? Girl, so seamless and just such a beautiful shade, and I love it so much. It's very buildable. You can get a very intense highlight out of it, or a very like subtle, like kind of like glint out of it. Very versatile, and it goes with almost every look, so I love that. So Hypnose Cosmetics also has some great highlighters. Next one is by OMFG Cosmetics, and this is in the shade Pink Marshmallow, and it's scented like pink marshmallows, so obviously it's gonna be a favorite of mine. Another one that just doesn't really have a trace of glitter, and it is just a beautiful sheen on your skin. If I have some space, and if you can see that, probably not. It's just a really beautiful sheen over your skin. She's got different shades, so if you aren't into the more pinky highlighters, like, don't let this scare you away, but they look great over top of just bare skin. And the last pressed highlighter is by Mater Makeup Labs, and this is Serotonin, and it was in collaboration with Caitlin, which is someone I follow on Instagram. Again, it's slightly too dark for me. I can get away with this, but it is slightly too dark for me, so I just have to not have a super heavy hand and like really blend it in. Not during the summer, but like right now. But it is so pretty, and it is a really nice, if you're really pale and most gold highlighters just look yellow on you or orange, This is a really nice gold highlighter for pale skin. And I feel like it's picked a weird spot to swatch it on my hand, but also hopefully you can even see these swatches. But it's beautiful. It's that same non-glittery, just smooth texture that just looks beautiful on bare skin. So yeah. Now let's get into some loose highlighters. You cannot go wrong with loose highlighters if you don't wear foundation. There's something about them. You would think that they would kind of go everywhere and not look great on no foundation skin, but they look absolutely stunning. So the first one, what do I want to go with first? Sparrow Cosmetics has 1x3, which this is probably one of my most used highlighters. It's a very light highlighter, and I love this so much. It looks so good on the skin, so seamless, and these loose highlighters give kind of the same effect as Clumsy does from Sparrow Cosmetics, the pressed highlight, in the fact that they smooth over the skin and like just smooth over pores or texture without accentuating it. So here's this one by Give Me Glow Cosmetics. It's Baby Doll. It is a little bit dark for me. This one is Baby Doll. It's a more pink one, but they have other shades, of course. This one has a little bit more glimmer to it, but it's nothing that's super, super noticeable on the face. And this one by Glamour Doll Eyes. This is the small size in Ghostly. Not sure if this was limited edition or not, but I got this in their monthly subscription for October, and it looks so wet and just beautiful on your skin. At first you look at them and it looks like they have lots of glitter and you're not going to want to put that on your face, but when you put it on your face, the glitter, the shimmeries don't translate and you're really just left with a beautiful sheen. This one obviously looks too dark for me, but very, very lightly dusted on my face. This is a pretty hefty swatch. It looks like I have liquid metal on my face. I love using this on my inner corner or just all over my lid. It looks absolutely insane. But wow, I love this one. Did I even tell you what this was? No, I didn't. This is by My Pretty Zombie. Hopefully that's in focus. But yeah, love that one. It's incredible. If you have very deep skin, that's just gonna look insane. The last one, finally. Actually, I accidentally skipped over 2 brushes. These are 2 brushes I love for my no foundation routine, and the first is the ColourPop F13. I like to use this for powdered contour or bronzer. It's just the perfect shape to get in there. When you don't wear foundation, tapping your brush and you're putting powdered products on, tapping your brush is the best thing you can do. So getting a brush that is already kind of like the perfect shape for your contour or bronzer and then just kind of like tapping over that area is gonna be your best bet and your safest bet. So, and then the next brush I really love is by EcoTools also, and it's a sheer powder brush. I use this for blush. It's very not dense and it's flimsy, and I feel like it's perfect. I just like take one side and just tap it in my blush and then tap it over my cheeks, and it's absolutely perfect. It doesn't pick up too much product. It doesn't pick up too little. It really, there's something about this brush where the product just really evenly distributes on it, so it doesn't get too weird at any spots. So yeah, that's it for the brushes. And the last category, I need to lay down for a second. One thing about filming on your bed, you just want to sleep. The last category I have to talk to you guys about, share with you, however you want to say that, is setting sprays. These are 2 of my favorites. One is a setting spray that's really going to lock your makeup in and just make it stay all freaking day. And I notice a huge difference when I use this as compared to if I don't use it. And that is the Skindinavia Makeup Finishing Spray. This is the bridal one, but there's also the original one or oil control one. There's all kinds of, they have a couple different ones, but this one is my favorite. I think this one's a little stronger than the original one, but I don't know, I haven't tried the original one. I really like the bridal one though. Anyhow, this just locks my makeup in. For the most part, I feel like setting sprays that are meant to lock your makeup in are very gimmicky. A lot of them doesn't do it. A lot of them I've tried do absolutely nothing. Some of them do, but this is the one that I found that is just irreplaceable for me, and that's the Skindinavia one. Another concern with not wearing foundation is the staying power of your makeup, and I find that my makeup stays on just as long. But with this setting spray, I don't find that my makeup starts to just kind of like deteriorate throughout the day. That wasn't the right word. This is just irreplaceable to me. And then I like to use the Catrice Cosmetics Prime and Fine Dewy Glow Fixing Spray. I love this for just kind of like setting all my powders down and just any makeup routine. Even if you do wear foundation, I think that setting sprays is kind of a must. If not to prolong your makeup, then to just kind of make it all like sink in. So, and just be the finishing step. So that is it for this video. This was a long one. So yeah, if you have any questions, please leave it down in the comments below. If you have any like specific product questions, like even if it's not in here, maybe I have used it or heard of it or something like that. So leave it down in the comments below, or if you have any questions on not wearing foundation, yeah, just leave it in the comments below. So have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one if you watch it.